What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Universim Season 4 full release 1.0, and we're coming straight into one of the new quests, the Big Bird, and that is to shoot down the UFO. Yes, it's muted, don't panic, the sound will come back shortly, but that lightning is hideous on the ears. But there's the Big Bird, you have to shoot it down. You then have to use your telekinesis spell to get the magic box, the loot box, and deliver said loot box to your epicenter. You then need to wait for your nuggets to research the box, and then the quest is completed. So since the last episode, which was still today, I'm hoping, as long as everything went okay, I've let it play a little bit more. I tried to get as much in as possible for you guys, so that although I missed the first day due to being able to stream, we still keep up with the fact that it's a brand new release, and I want to get into this. Hopefully you guys join in as well, because I'd like to see all of your guys' characters in here going to multiple planets, etc.
I see you're freshening up the place.
There is a lot of extra sayings
I don't suppose you can do
from this
anything
guy.
about the smell.
It also seems like when you plant new buildings, he also has a comment about them, which is quite cool, because obviously that's all new as well and it's less interactive. He does say one comment far too often, which is a bit annoying, but I think I've started to get used to it now. While looking at it, and yes, we're in winter again, but while looking at it, you can see the nuggets are very busy, travelling all over the place. We've got schools in place already. Only two, but that's enough for now, just to get the educated ones coming in. That means that we are now getting a discovery point, achieved 5 every 10 minutes, and obviously that will help us push forward for unlocking certain items. For the larger items and for the excess of items that you need for the discovery points, of course, we'll have to use the expedition camp for that when we get there. So skipping winter, because it hurts my eyes and I'm sure it hurts yours, although the dark blue nuggets were quite a lot easier to see. But we've still got one fishery. We can upgrade the cemeteries now. We do indeed have one of the buildings to make the bricks, the stone refinery, and one of the buildings to make the planks, the wood refinery. I will increase that amount as and when we need, but for now, just to get the first few things upgraded, it should be fine. That mystery box is now completed in research.
Presents.
Big Bird quest is complete. A new saying from the avatar there, and a couple of new achievements as well. We all love getting achievements, right? Meanwhile, in the bottom right there, nuggets are doing the nasty to make another nugget. Black Market landed and built himself, obviously. At the minute, there's not really anything worth buying. I can use my creator points just to whittle them down a bit. But it's not necessarily, I was going to do it, but there was no room in the warehouses to do so. So what I'm actually going to do is chuck some more warehouses down. At the top there you can see happiness, crime and pollution is all grey for the warehouse. It does nothing, so that's why they're grey. 0 out of 1 water, 90 out of 0 power. So it uses no power but uses 1 water, and then obviously the wood and stone it requires. Once again, we're not researching anything, so I'll have to jump onto that and make sure that keeps going. I don't want to stop that at all, for the simple principle that we want to get ahead of where we're at. The first village, the main planet, although it's the largest one, I did it just for the giggles, really. Yes, and they are building in the desert, nowhere near my city, so I now need to fix that as well. But yeah, the idea is we want to get to the new planets as soon as possible. I'm not going to rush it. But you've seen all of this before, right? So apart from the new buildings and stuff, the first sort of couple of episodes is just the infrastructure of getting yourself a few hundred nuggets. And chucking down the holy spell there, and I'll chuck another one next to it, just to make sure that now I've put infrastructure in for the houses to be built here, they may as well build here. Spreading out the reservoirs as best I can. Previously, in the last 2 seasons, actually, we noticed that the reservoirs in the main city, where you start, so here, but obviously much earlier on, run out of drinking water quite quickly because the amount of population that's there. So I'm trying to put down a lot more than I have previously in the centre of town, leaving some gaps for the police as well. But I've already put down quite a lot of eateries as well. I think there's 4 or 5 spread around the main epicentre of where we start. Previously, you was lucky if I got 2 in, so I just want to make sure, of course, the fluids that they drink from the eatery reduces the amount of time they need fluid anyway, so that's better than the water as well. Keeping you up to speed on the research here, you can see I'm just coming in and making sure all of these little niggly ones that are now being unlocked from the gates are done. Obviously, the material refinement was stopping those. And then as soon as they're done, I'm going to continue straight through geology, mining, glass making, etc. Glass blowing, sorry. And that was the discovery points used, or well, all but 22. So I used around 100, I think. Just on the basic things there, making them faster, making them carry more, and making them require less food. Just going on a wander now across the globe, looking for that building again, and there it is. Just try and figure out what actually is this. It is a Planet Cracker battery. Planet Cracker battery, okay. And then going to the research is the remnant recovery protocol. Unearth the remains of a mighty planet cracker to construct the celestial resonant extractor. It's designed to extract alien robot components from the ground. That sounds fantastically awesome, but also still not entirely sure how fantastically awesome it may be. Does that mean we're going to get new robots? Does it mean it's going to replace parts for the Nuggetoid? I don't know. And also, while I'm here along the rocks, I'm looking for, I believe it's the acorn, something acorn. That's it there, isn't it? Yeah, juicy acorn. Just looking for that. There's only this one and probably another one. If not, this is the last one, I'm not sure. For the 10 crops in the game. Still 10.
You now have access to every crop type, but you probably know which one's my favorite.
I don't actually know which one his favourite is. But yes, a new saying there, because it didn't say that before. You will get an achievement for that if you haven't already done it.
Your nuggets have been breeding like rabbits.
But yeah, that's all 10 unlocked, so we've got that full capability. I'm not sure if there's new ones on the other planets. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, I can build, or sorry, grow whatever I like. We've only got 2 farms at the minute, but I will be increasing that very shortly. Nuggets are dying, but they are dying due to old age because the settings have reset from the update, so I will go in and turn that off in a second so that we don't see them, because I'm not interested in old age deaths. I'm only interested in deaths that happen for other reasons, either animal attacks or things of that nature. So jumping forward now to placing a couple of iron mines. The main reason I want to get iron coming in now, but not necessarily loads of it, is for upgrading the hospital. The hospital requires iron ingots. Over on that left-hand side you saw the actual resource was awful. Here is a nice plot for getting iron, but it's right smack on the top of a mountain where you can't actually place the building. Or at least I cut up that top.
This is
what I'm actually going to do
planet.
is place it on either end of this this mountainside and try and do it that way. There will be a little bit of overlapping, but that's not. I'm not too worried about that at the beginning because that's more speed than efficiency.
Doing a menial task, creator. I hope they know they're not
just get rid of this quest with the demanding goods. I'm going to agree to that because I'm not going to fall out with anybody yet. We don't have military, and I don't need them coming and attacking
right up
quite yet. So I'll keep them happy and let them do what they want to do, just for a few resources. It's not the end of the world, and we've got plenty. So yeah, back to this. You can see there is 2,000 to give out. I think putting one sort of either side will work nicely, like so. There we go. So that is the iron dealt with. Of course, I need to make sure that the buildings don't fall down, so I'll throw an engineer's hut there to make sure that's in range, and also try and get at least a reservoir as well, because this is quite a fair distance from. And actually, we're going to chuck in a storage building warehouse. So decent little setup there, and then I'm going to put this warehouse right on the edge there to allow them to store what's needed. And then of course we have now placed down a few negative things, not the warehouse of course, but the iron mines are going to cause issues with crime, happiness, and potentially CO2 pollution. So we go to our favourite friends.
I can hear the birds chattering away already.
And he can hear the birds chattering at the parks before the parks are even built, so that's impressive. And that was good timing, because there comes trouble. Now I'm going to go in. The root of all problems is this quest. It's a standard one for the expedition. But I've already gone in there with a lightning strike. I'm going to put that fire out immediately because it will spread to your city, village, whatever you've got. But we do need to take him out, get the expedition camp. Nothing new there as far as I'm aware. Same principle as always. You can do... The first stage is 10 nuggets. The second stage is 30 nuggets. And the last stage is, I think it's 50.
I'm glad to see you taking such good
That was the first
care of your
infected corpse
subjects.
we've had on this so far. I'm not going to put a cemetery down for this one because they're just walking across the entire planet. This planet is huge by design because it's the one that we picked. And just having them down for these randoms that walk off, and as soon as the resource runs out, it will just send them elsewhere. So I'll try and keep up with it as long as it doesn't spread too quickly, and they're always on their own when they're out there anyway. It doesn't matter. While we're waiting for this vine to pop up, his name is 𝐶𝐶, I believe. There is an achievement again for this when it's done, and it says his name, which I don't believe I've read that, but I'm sure it's in the quest. I just read it too fast. I don't know. That noise made me unsure, and this is what we're seeing. This is where I put down the holy ground for the people to move in the residential areas. I've got no idea what that means. It looks like it's gone, so whether it means it's now gone or whether it means somebody's actually used it and started building it, I'm not sure. If anybody already knows the answer to that, please let us know. Now I've already upgraded one of the water wheels to be the next stage up. So now that's done and running, I'll do the others as well. If winter comes, I'll do them all because, of course, in winter they're not used anyway, and that's the best time to upgrade them. The new neighbours coming in for the exiles. I believe we've got 3 now in total, but I'm not worried. The only thing that they require is the odd bit of resources. And to be honest, it's quite simple to keep them in the high neutral, or at the very least, sorry, at the very best, you can get them into allies. You would have to attack them to get them any worse than that, so it's not too difficult to do. Just waiting on the last strike here, and there it goes. He's now dead. 𝐶𝐶 Slayer achievement for killing that guy, and he's dead. It's going to take us over to the required research to build the expedition camp, so I'll clear everything off and make that prio 1. You get about 25 minutes to do the entire quest. So we've got 20 minutes and 25 seconds to go. We are playing in double speed, so that's why the counter's going down a bit faster than you'd expect, or at least it's going down twice as quick as you'd expect, because we are playing at 2 times. I very often play it 2 times. I only normally slow it down to deal with issues, but for me 2 times the speed is a nice normal speed. I'm going to look at the change season spell. I can't afford it, and I'm not going to do it. For now, it's not worth it. There's other things to do. And of course, you've got to be careful you don't use all your creator points, because if someone gets infected, you need to sort that out. Now, oddly, I thought I had done the water minister, but obviously not. So I'm going to come in.
That nugget looks remarkably unqualified.
And I've applied now, for sure.
Then
You've seen it. It's
so do you.
recorded. A minister for the water and a minister for the food. Not having to worry about them is quite nice, as long as they don't go silly Billy with it. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned in this series so far on episode 1 or this one is regarding the power. Now, for me, at the minute, the power is going to be the wind turbines and then solar, I think. Now, anybody's got any ideas or want me to do anything different, let me know before we get there, so on this episode. And I'll try and do that depending on what people say. The reason I'm going for that is because both of them don't require resources. I don't have to use gas or get anything like that. They're just plain, they're free. You just need a lot of them, I guess. But for space and stuff, I guess that works too. I'm not sure about wind, but certainly solar. So that's how I'm going to go. I'm going to go right back at the very beginning after all the testing we've done. Yeah, I'm going to go with the very first ones. The request-wise, don't request kinetic. I don't imagine that anybody enjoys that. But if you'd rather have combustion or the nuclear, please let me know. So we saw the walking tree in the first episode, I believe, right at the very start. And here it is again. I've got no idea what concept it has or anything. If somebody's already unlocked this quest or whatever it may be, let me know. Here I'm trying to use telekinesis to pick it up. It doesn't do anything. It just picks... Sorry, he just gets up and walks off every time you click on him. I haven't tried lightning it because I really don't want to try killing it just in case, depending on what may or may not be required with it.
Planet.
As far as I know, I've only seen that one on the entire planet. And also, there is only one unobtainium resource where you get the 5 resources from. I'm expecting this is this is on purpose, and the idea is that you will have to travel and find them as opposed to having 5 or 6 or whatever it is on the planet to start with. So the nuggetoids become more difficult, or it may be to do with that robot part machine that we looked at earlier. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's a little bit exciting, I suppose. I don't want to try and ruin it by reading up too much. I do like to find things out as they go, as long as it doesn't become harder, which I can't imagine it will be, because this game's always flowed very well through the different sort of ages. So this is where it gets bad for the Highlanders when they're infected. So I'm just trying to go around and cure them, but as you've just seen, that mass just infected another 5 nuggets in one go. Now, normally I would go to the actual population log and just go from the top down, and it covers it, but it's not seeming to work as good as I thought, because you can see there, look, there are still people infected. So actually what I'm going to do is slow the game down, look for the people that are infected with the thing above their head, and manually fix them. As long as it doesn't go on a Highlander, it shouldn't be too dangerous. There is research later on that I've seen that's new, that actually is specifically designed to make them less likely to get infections from either dirty water or from infected nuggets and corpses. So that's a nice little game changer at the end there, but it's quite far on, so... At the minute, we just have to do it the manual way, and that's making sure I keep some creator points available for me to cure the people that need to be cured. Just brought it back to show you. I'm just doing a little bit of top up here on the water pumps. We'd just come out of winter, but we did have an issue where we was just running out. So we have plenty of reservoirs, but they're not getting filled up. So I've just chucked down a couple more pumps. Yes, I've got a water minister. I don't know what they are doing, but... Clearly they're not putting the pumps down, because the 3 that you can see are the 3 that I started with. So we'll see how that goes, but they may have to get sacked if I have to do it manually anyway. And just to show you here, the unobtainium pillars haven't changed, but there is only this one on the entire map. And again, this is the largest map with seed 1, the number 1, and this is the only one I can see. So I'm guessing that you need to actually travel to all the planets to get them, so that nuggetoids become more difficult to make, maybe. Or I just got really unlucky and then everybody don't use my seed because I only got 1. And every time I've played this before on the beta versions, you got 4 or 5 per starter planet. So back over to this mining section, and I need to put down a gas mine now. And you can see there, 3,300... or around the 3,000 mark. That is a fantastic amount of gas that we can rip out here. Whether I can't actually get it that way because you can't build on the mountain.
Is that nugget using a lantern? Isn't gas supposed to be flammable?
So I'll just chuck them there instead. And that will cover that area regardless, and 2 of them means it just speeds up that first bit. But then from then on, it will be more efficiency over speed. We have you can see that the cemetery is there looking good. So... that area is safe from corpses and the like. Having a quick look for anything interesting, but specifically meteors. And of course, after gas comes oil. So there's a nice spot there, but again, the spots for the oil was a bit crapper.
All of that old, dead organic matter can finally be put to good use.
It means that I have to, obviously you can see this one, there's a good area here, but it means that I'm going to have to build an infrastructure there, and that means the engineer's hut, a reservoir, fire station, maybe a graveyard, cemetery, depending. I don't actually think we've unlocked the fire stations yet, but we will have to at some point. That's the basics anyway that I like to do. It's always the engineer's hut, at least one reservoir, fire station, and then potentially a cemetery. And yes, I've done that again. There's a lot of lines.
Oh,
It's a lot of babies.
So
it actually shows you,
cute
bottom
together.
right hand corner, you can hear it clicking on Form New Families. It actually shows you now. So there are all the new families we've created, or I've created, where you double click on somebody that's not with somebody. There's at least 30 odd new families there. Going into the exhibition camp, nothing's changed here. It's exactly the same as before. I'm doing it just to make sure, really, to let you know if there's anything new, and it doesn't look like there is. I haven't got the cure points. What I did realise was, though, I chucked in 10 people and 100 food, and it was only halfway on the weight. So whether they've changed that, I'm not sure. It just seems easier.
Or maybe some kind of automated back scratcher. Stop me if I'm wrong.
He's yakking again. But yeah, so it's just to try it out and see what changes. Also, it'll get me a few discovery points. They are coming in nicely, but it's always nice to get the discovery points from the expedition camp. And also the free resources and creator points that you can get from it too. Into the research, because we've stopped again. I'm going backwards to clear out those older ones. And then like mathematics and botany, ecology. And then we'll go for the shelters. From there, after they're done, then we can start shooting over to the right towards the space stuff. There is the fire station. So yes, I was right before I said I hadn't done it yet. So now I'm going to place one of these around to cover everything I can. Shouldn't be too difficult. No, nice and simple. Covering everything nicely so that if there is a fire, we've at least got something to do it automatically.
Does this sound like a good deal to you?
Again, someone's requesting resources. I'm not going to request anything. Just give them something, and it improves the relations. And yet another achievement.
An exile village has started thinking quite fondly of you, creator.
I'm not sure about fondly, but they like the fact that I gave them 4 wood. I mean, it's not much, but it's better than giving them nothing. But we are at time now, so this is the end of episode 2, and thank you all very much for watching again. If you want to interact with it at all, please let me know. Let me know any names to add in there or any preferences you would like. Any preferences around the power also, let me know. If you're playing along, keep everybody up to date. I do have a Discord with some pictures on and stuff, and you'll find that you'll get more information from that sooner rather than later. So anybody that's on there, obviously, while I've been playing, has actually had some snippets of what's actually going on while I'm doing this recording. So again, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like, subscribe for more. Any comments are welcome. Take care. Goodbye.